All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about the 1A Quiz 2. All right, so you should be following along as I'm going through this. First thing to note is when you're looking at your quiz, here we go. All right, so using a 6 by 6 square to estimate a crowd in a 200 by 300 foot field. All right, so notice what we have, and that is E-class grades it based off of what the answer should be. So, for example, the answer should be 1667E. Now, this person put 1667E, but they put this x squared or x equals, which meant they got the question wrong according to E-class. But before you start complaining, look over to the right-hand side. Notice the 1 out of 1 points. All right. So what that means is you got credit for that, which means the teacher, me, I had to go back and give you credit for something. But E-class only grades based off of what you typed in, and it compares it to what the answer should be. So because the student put an x equals right here, the E-class thought it was wrong. That's why they got the X. But look over here on the right-hand side. Again, 1 out of 1 points. So I went back and overrid it. All right. Here we go. Question number 1. A person wants to increase a photo to a larger one, but since the aspect ratio are not equal, some of the picture we chopped off, answer the following questions. All right, so what we have here is, if you notice over here to the right, you have a photo that is outside the frame rectangle. So the frame is the big, bold X here, or rectangle. Now, this is where all the information comes from. This is our answer right here, because this is what we're doing. It is the frame area divided by the blown up picture area. Okay, the burp, the bup, whatever. Now, very simple. Okay, very simple. The frame area, remember, to find the area of anything, you take width times it by height. Now, notice what we have here. See this 16? See how it goes out to the width of the frame? And then look at the 8. See how it goes the height of the frame? The area of the frame is super easy because it's just 16 times 8. There's nothing really worth figuring out outside of just looking. But where things get a little more complicated is we got to find the width of the actual picture. Now, again, we know the height of the picture, it's 8, because it goes, the picture in the frame goes to the same exact spot, but it's the width that we don't know. But if you notice, we're given the original picture. Now, the reason why we're given the original picture is to create a proportion. So off to the side, remember, I always create a proportion based off width times height. So I'm going to put 15 over 5 from that picture, and then it's equal to, I don't know what the width is, x over 8, which is the height. Cross multiply and solve. X ends up being 24. Okay, so let me kind of clean this up for a second. Now this 16 is a little confusing. I really don't need the 16 anymore because I just needed it for the area of the frame. But I know that the width is 24, so 24 times 8 gives me the blown up picture is 192. So 128 divided by 192 gives me what percentage, to answer the question, what percent of the blown up picture is still able to be fit, would be 67%. So 67% of that picture was able to fit inside the frame, the rectangular frame, and everything else was chopped off. All right, next question. We have a football field. A football field is 360 to 160 or 360 by 160 feet. So to find the aspect ratio, all you're doing is you're taking 360 and reducing it, or I'm sorry, you're taking 360 and 160 and reducing it to the smallest terms. And if I was going to do this manually, let's see, I know both of them can be divided by 10. I get 36 over 16. All right, they're both even. We'll keep it simple. Divide by 2. 18 over 8. Okay, I can divide by 2 again. All right, which gives me 9 over 4. Okay, I can't do anything at that point, so it is 9, 4. All right, so this question here gets a little confusing because there's many steps. All right, so the it says, what percentage does the black bars occupy? All right, so where we're driving with this, and that is this relationship right here. So the relationship that we're going by is this right here, and that is the TV area minus the frog area divided by the TV area. All right, so this is where we're driving at. Okay, and let me put a little division line here just so you know that will be dividing. All right, so it's the TV area divided by the frog area. Now you might be asking, what the heck's the frog area? This question is, you're watching a frog show, so I'm just, rather than writing the show, I'm just doing frog because there's a frog there. All right, so what we have is two rectangles. So we need to, let's kind of start labeling some stuff here. It says the TV has an aspect ratio of 16:9. So this is the TV, and this is the frog show, 21:9. It says the width of the TV is 60 inches. Now, width and height are like brothers in the sense of if you're given one, you got to find the other. All right? Now, if the width of the TV is 60, that means the width of the frog is 60. So in this type of question, what you have to do, number one, is find the height. Okay? Step two is find the area. And then step three is find the percentage. Okay? So when you're doing this problem, so I'm going to do this TV because this is the size of the TV screen. I'm going to create a proportion. So the proportion is 16 over 9, because it's always width over height, is equal to 60 over x. Cross multiply and solve. I get an overall height of 34. Now, once I get the overall height, then I need to find the area. So the area of this rectangle, I'm just going to write it off to the side here. The area is 60 times 34 is 2040. That's the area of the TV screen. Now I'm going to do the same exact thing over here. Again, creating a proportion where width is over height. So cross multiply and solve. I get a height of 26. 60 times 26 gives me an area. So the area right here is 1560. So first step, check. The second step, check. Now I got to find the percentage. Well, again, this is what we do. We apply this formula. So to find the percentage, you apply this relationship. The TV area, which is the total area, is 2040. I'm going to subtract that from the area of the frog, which is 1560, and then divide by 2040. So 2040 minus 1560 divided by 2040 gives an area of, I'm going to round here, roughly 24%. So 24% of the TV screen makes up the black bars. All right. At ABC Corp, all employees will be issued new ID cards for security purposes. The ID cards will have 4 characters. All right, so before I even start anything, I'm going to make 4 lines. Blank or 4 blanks. Blanks, blank, blank. And the reason I like doing blanks is because of the fact that it reminds me that something's got to go in the blanks. So let's keep reading. The character will contain 3 letters. So that will be a letter, that will be a letter, that will be a letter. And the other one's going to be a digit, so that will be a number. Now, the 3 letters is A through F. All right, so let's see. A is 1 option, B 2 options, C, D, E, F. That's 6 options. So A through F is 6 options. So all these are A through F, which is 6 options. And then lastly, the number is going to be 1 through 9, which is 9 options. Okay, so when we do the math, we get 1944 options, 1,944. But if the digit could be anywhere in the code. Now, again, What this means is, let's say if John, all right, so let's say if John, let's say his ID code was AAA1. Let's say if Bob, his ID code is AAA1, sorry, 1A. Let's say if Chris, RIS, is A1AA, and then lastly Dave is 1AAA. What that means is, because of the fact that this digit could be in the last place, it could be in the second to last place, it can be second place, it can be first. There's 4 positions in which it could be. We are going to take 1944 and we are going to times it by 4, because each number letter combination can be quadrupled because of the location of the letter number. So when we times it by 4, we get 7,760. All right, using a 6 by 6 foot crowd to estimate. Now it says solve in terms of E, so that means I'm going to have an E on my answer. So E over 36 is equal to X over 6 with 4 zeros. Cross multiply, you get 36x is equal to 6,000 E. Sorry, put another 0 on there, my bad. 60,000 E. So I divide 60,000, divide that by 36. My answer ends up being, round to the nearest whole, 1,667 E. Now remember, that E is special because we haven't estimated yet. We haven't figured out how many people can actually fit into the square. So that means we got to have an E. All right, so look at that. We have the dreaded S word. The dreaded S word means we have to do the Pythagorean theorem. So using the proportion here, using, not the proportion, using the aspect ratio, sorry. And let me actually circle it to where, there it is. I know that I'm going to use the aspect ratio and put 4x for my width, 3x for my height. So that's going to be 4x squared plus 3x. Now remember, I put them in parentheses because I need the square to go to the 4 as well as the x. So 16x squared plus 9x squared is equal to whatever 55 squared is, which is 3025. Then I combine like terms and I get 25x squared is equal to 3025. I divide by 25 and I get x squared is equal to 121, which when I square root both sides, I get x is equal to 11. Now for this question, a lot of you guys got to 11, but you didn't know what to do with it. This 11 will then be plugged into the x for the 4 and the x attached to the 3. So now my width ends up being 44 and my height ends up being 33. So the width and length, or the width and height of my TV screen is 44 by 33. Okay, for question number 7, it is, we have zones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each zone is 200 square feet. Okay, so for labeling purposes, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write 200 right above all of them, just so I know they're 200 square feet. And I just put zone, there it is, 200, and then 200. Now it says for each zone, there's a prediction. 5 square feet per person. What I would do is, you could write a proportion if you wanted to, but I think that would be an extra step. What I would do is that if this zone is 200 square feet, and if one person makes up 5 square feet, well, how many 5s can go into 200? And I believe that's going to be 40. So that means, and I'll just write this in red, 40 people can fit in zone 1. But notice zone 4 is the exact same, so 40 people can fit in zone 4. Same thing for zone 2. Zone 2, 15 square feet per person. So I'll just divide this by 15. And I think I might get a decimal. I do, so I'm just going to round to the nearest whole. So that means 13 people can fit in zone 2, which means 13 people can fit in zone 5. And then lastly, zone 6 and 3 and 6, 30 square feet per person. I'm just going to divide by 30, And I think I'm going to get another. Yep, I do. So I'm going to divide this by 30. It's just easier to do it this way. And you get 7 people for zone 3 and 6. So we start adding, and we get a grand total of 120 people that came to this particular concert. Not that many people. All right, so this is another one of those questions where you can create a proportion if you wanted to. I would just simply divide. Now, because of the fact that we've done several of these questions, I'm just going to do the easiest thing here. Dollywood is 250 miles away, and your car gets 23 miles per gallon. So I'm just simply going to divide these two. So 250 divided by 23. You're going to get a decimal. Yep. But it's going to round to 11 gallons. So rounding to 11 gallons. All right, John 12, or John, I'm sorry, question 12. Actually, I'm skipping because on this question here, there was actually 2 questions that dealt with this problem. All right, so John's community organizer that will be hosting an outdoor concert next year. The concert is very popular, so he will be expecting a very high attendance of 20,000. The field that will be used measures 225 long. All right, so if each person, all right, here we go. If each person occupies 3.5 square feet, so when I create a proportion, 1 over 3.5, because remember, I always like to do people over space. How many people X can fit into a space that is 225 by 305? Notice that I don't have anything to do, I'm not using this 20,000. I don't care about it, it's extra information. But I don't like putting that 225 by 305. I'm just going to convert that to an actual number, and I get 68,625. So I'm going to cross multiply, and when I do, I get X is equal to 19,000, it says round to the nearest whole, 607. This is the max amount of people. You cannot fit more than 19,000 in this, or 19,607. Anything beyond that is too many people. Anything that's less than that is okay. All right. So the answer of this question is 19,607. Now the next question says, can the expected attendance fit in the field? Now we just figured out from the last question that the field has a max of 19,607. We need to fit 20,000 people into this field. But the problem is the max is 19,000. So anything more than 19,000 is a no. So can we fit 20,000 people in a space that has a max of 19,607? The answer is no. We cannot. All right, the state of Texas DMV uses the following restrictions for each license plate. The first character will be a digit. So again, one of these questions, I love using blanks. Be a digit, and then followed by 2 letters, blank, blank, followed by 3 digits. So blank, blank, blank. All right. So the first character will be a digit. So let me just, again, still trying to put some letters on here, or digits, or not digits, but labeling here. Followed by 2 letters, followed by 3 digits. Digit, number, number. All right, let's look at the restrictions. All right, so it says for all characters, the letters H, T, Q, O, X, and S cannot be used. So letters, you're thinking 26 letters, but you can't use 6 of them. So that means there's 20 possibilities for this particular problem. And then the 0 cannot be used, so this is going to be a 1 through 9 situation. 1 through 9, 1 through 9, 1 through 9. So that is 9 possibilities, 9 possibilities, 9 possibilities, 9 possibilities. And I just multiply them all out. 9 times 20 times 20 times 9 times 9 times 9. Looks like to be 2,624,400 license plates possibilities. Whew. There's more than that in Texas, so they're going to have to change that up. But anyway, not the question. All right, a computer monitor has an aspect ratio of 7:4 and the height. All right, so find the width. Now remember, an aspect ratio is width, height. So when you create a proportion, I always like to do width over height. So 7 over 4 is equal to, I'm looking for the width over 19 inches. So 7 times 19, divide by 4, cross multiply and solve. It says round to the nearest whole number, 33. All right, question number 13. All right, so this is a question a lot of folks messed up on. So the first is, we're dealing with a phone number. So whenever you deal with a phone number, the first thing I do is going to write 7 blanks down because that's how many numbers a phone number has. There we go. So blank, blank, blank. Let me put the dash in there just so I don't get lost here. There we go. It says the first digit of the phone number cannot be 0 through 5, so that means it'll be 6 through 9. The second, third, and fourth numbers cannot be a 0 or 1, so that's got to be a 2 through 9, so second, third, and fourth. But notice there's no restrictions on these last 3. So that's a 0 through 9. Where a lot of people screwed up was because it didn't say anything about the last 3 here. They just didn't put it there. They just said, okay, well, it doesn't exist. Guys, it does, okay? So 6 through 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 4. 2 through 7, I believe, is 8, 8, 8. 0 through 9 is 10, 10, and 10. All right, 4 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 10. We get 2 million. Now, of course, some of you guys are thinking, well, what about the area code? Let's talk about the area code. There will be a total of 3 area codes. Now, again, some of you guys may not remember, but let me tell you. Notice John, Bob, and Chris. They have the exact same phone number, except they have different area codes. So what the area codes allow is that one phone number can be used 3 times over because there's 3 different area codes. So very simply, what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 million and times it by 3 because each number can be used 3 times, which triples the amount of phone numbers. So 6,144,000 total possibilities. All right, ooh, the dreaded parade question. All right. For the first 7 minutes, 50 people will walk by you. So I'm just going to go for write 50 here because that's what my rate is. This rate decreases by 20%. Okay, so think about it. If you decrease by 20%, question mark, that means you keep 80%. Okay, so I'm going to take 50, I'm going to times it by 0.8. And I get 40 for my new rate. This rate decreases by 50%. Well, decreasing by 50% is just dividing by 2. I mean, you can do this whole minus, keep, whatever. I'm not going to because it's decreasing by 50%. Same thing for 4. You're decreasing by 50%. Now, once you get your rates, then you multiply it by the number of minutes that's in each part. 350. 40 times 3 is 120. 20 times 2 is 40. 10 times 3 is 30. So 350 plus 120 plus 40 and 30. That gives you a grand total of 540 people. Now, how I got that? I just added all the totals for each part. All right, question number 15. The average space a person occupies while standing is 2.5 square feet. Based on this average, how many people can fit in this? Okay, so the average space a person, that's one person, 2.5 square feet. Remember, I do a person over space situation, is equal to x over whatever 450 by 200 is. So 450 by 200 looks like, I'm not going to write that, I'm going to write 90,000. 90,000, cross multiply and solve. You get 36,000 people. That's a lot of people in that space. Ooh, not much breathing room in that. All right, so thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.